Joining us now, former New York City mayor and senior advisor to Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, great to see you tonight. Thanks for being here with us. So let's just talk about Florida first off the bat, and what we're being told is, some pretty big numbers in terms of the Latino turnout, which the conventional wisdom is this would not be good for Donald Trump. Your take on it?
Well, my take on it is it's a little bit different than the Latino turnout in some other states, because you have to include in that a Cuban vote. I realize there's kind of a split in the Cuban community between the younger Cubans and the older Cubans, but it isn't the same, wouldn't be the same thing, let's say, as the Latino or Hispanic vote in New York or in California. So it isn't going to be as dominantly pro-Obama. I know the Cuban community in Little Havana. I happen to spend a lot of time there for a totally irrelevant reason, the fact that I love cigars. And I know all those families. I know all those families very well. The Padron family, Don Pepin Garcia.
Oh wow!
They're big.
You're taking a walk down memory lane.
They're big Trump supporters. So that vote's not going to be quite as monolithic as it looks. And I don't think the Jewish vote is going to be as monolithic as it sometimes always is.
You still predicting a Trump victory in Florida?
No. I'm telling you, I don't know. Look, it's going to be close. Florida, I would never predict Florida. Carl should never predict Florida either. He knows what happened in 2000. My goodness, Florida is not a predictable state. But I think it's still a very, very viable state for Donald Trump. I think he can still win Florida.
Mr. Mayor, Florida has changed since you ran for president and had a Florida strategy. The demographics have changed, not only in that I-4 corridor, but also throughout the state. It's a higher population. There were more early votes cast in Florida than were cast in the 2000 election. So it's a different state.
It is a different state. But that doesn't mean it isn't necessarily a state in which there aren't an awful lot of Trump supporters. I've been up and down Florida. I guess I must have spent a total of a week and a half there. The support for Donald Trump in the northern part of the state is overwhelming. The support in Tampa is very strong. I'll admit it was a little bit weaker in Orlando than I expected it to be. And I think basically the Palm Beach down to Miami vote, it's going to be Democratic, but I don't think it's going to be as strongly Democratic as it used to be.
Mr. Mayor, we've been looking at the gender gap tonight and the fact that women are not coming out for Donald Trump, but traditionally Republican women, married, suburban Republican women, are not apparently coming out for Donald Trump, and this has been an issue for him in the earlier polling. Should he have done anything differently, in your mind, to get that group behind him?
I'll tell you that in 2 days. It'll take me about 2 days to figure out, or maybe 3, or maybe longer, to figure out if something different had to be done. If he wins, sometimes when you win, you don't think anything different had to be done, and if you lose, you think everything different had to be done. It's hard to analyze in the middle of an election. He's going to overperform with the white male vote. I think he may do a little bit better with the African-American vote, both in terms of the percentage that shows up and his percentage. He spent an awful lot of time going back to August in every speech talking about what he wanted to do for the African-American and the Hispanic communities. I think that's going to pay some dividends for him. This is the first Republican candidate that spent as much time on that as at least I remember. Only one I remember ever doing that was Jack Kemp.
Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.